Okay. So, starting, I guess I should, hello. uh, Welcome to class. It is evening class tonight, and so we're going to start sitting, but sit on a chair if that's most comfortable. So that is the main thing when we are seated in any yoga class, whether it's my class or anybody else's. It's really hard for a lot of people, uncomfortable, I should say, to sit on the floor. So even when you're sitting here and you have yourself propped up, still check in to see how it feels, because sometimes it's just nice to prop ourselves up even a little bit more. So play around with that always to just make sure when we are starting class, the most important thing is not if you have your legs crossed or where your legs are. I like actually having an option is to have your knees bent like so that you can really feel like you're sitting on your sits bones. Yeah, because we just don't want to move in any kind of tension. So get yourself comfortable in a seated position, and really just close your eyes, take a few seconds, and just make sure that you're as comfortable as you can possibly be. So sometimes that just may mean that you want some more support under your legs, or you can have your knees, like I said, I always come into a cross leg, but that's not always comfortable for everybody. If you find that your knees are a little bit high, you can always play with bringing the legs out a little bit, perhaps putting some blocks underneath your knees. Come into a butterfly is another. You don't have to bring your feet all the way in. You can have the legs out a bit. And again, you can have something to support under your legs. So hopefully by now you're nice and comfy, and we will just begin with the breath. We can close our eyes if that's comfortable for you. Finding the sits bones, sitting up straight, whatever that means for you. So just feeling the sits bones nice, elongated back, tucking the chin a little bit to elongate the neck. And we're just slowing everything down. So slowing the breath down. And as we do that, we're trying to relax all parts of the body. So just notice any places of tension and just try to let those areas loosen. So especially, I know for me, all around the abdomen and the lower back, I kind of like to have this feeling like I'm pressing out a little tiny bit, especially on the inhale. And I've mentioned before why I say like a push out, because a lot of times when we breathe in, we tend to kind of, or even breathe out, sometimes just really almost suck the belly in. But I really want you to have a feeling with your inhale and exhale that your kind of belly is kind of pushing out, or those muscles are pushing out rather than squeezing everything in. So just breaths, relax the face. So you're just letting everything just slow down a little. And we're going to begin with the neck. So let's just begin by bringing the chin down towards the chest. So you're not rolling the upper part of your back. You're just, your head is kind of just hanging down without rolling the top of your back. So there, and you're just letting that go. You might feel this really nice kind of stretching sensation down your cervical spine, moving down your back. And just staying here nice and relaxed. And then we'll gently bring the chin towards one shoulder and then towards the other. Back and forth a couple times. Move with your breath. Take your time. Again, no rolling in the upper back, just movement within the neck. And then bring that up to full circles, and we're gonna just do that top half part of the circle, top half circle. And then just looking from side to side. Big breath in, big breath out. You can continue that. I'm gonna turn down my heater because it's quite loud. And then come and bring your head up to neutral. And we're just going to open the jaw really wide. Then you're going to move the bottom part of your jaw or your jaw from side to side. You can even massage whatever feels good for you here. Now I'm going to stretch my mouth open really, really wide. And release and probably scrunch your face up. Make all kinds of, different faces. Move your jaw from side to side. And now I'm just going to do a little movement, just a little, shoulders coming from side to side, a little shake. And just come back to stillness and come back to your breath. Put a smile on your face. Bring the arms up. So I like to externally rotate the arms here and then just extend them wide. So we're pulling them back and now reach them up. So there's you can feel a bit of resistance there. You can come down in prayer. Again. And now when you come into prayer, just kind of continue with the arms so they're coming into an internal rotation. And now externally rotate them again. And kind of bring the shoulder blades together behind you. And now reach the arms up. Don't bring the ribs. Nice big inhale, exhale, hands can be in prayer. And you can come all the way down. And then release the hands and bring your hands into an internal rotation. And then external rotation. And then open your arms could be at a different plane. You can raise the arms up a little bit. So my palms are up towards the ceiling now. And I'm bringing the arms back and then squeezing with the shoulder blades together to bring the arms even further back. Reach the arms up. Bring the palms together and come all the way down again. We'll do that one more time. So release the prayer. Arms are internal rotation. You can bring the arms out in front of you. Take a breath and now externally rotate, moving from the shoulders. Bring the arms back. The palms can be up towards the ceiling or they can be straight ahead. Really reach the arms back. And bring the arms up again into prayer and come down. Big inhale, exhale. We're going to reach the right arm now, and you can use your left for support on the side, and we're going to bring the arm diagonal across. So let's bring the arm diagonal. Now make sure you don't roll your back. So you're I'm kind of leaning to the left a little bit as I bring the right arm over. I'm going to make these big circles around, okay? And so again, do a couple of those. Inhale. Exhale. I'm really reaching back. One more. Inhale. And as I come around, I'm really externally rotating the shoulder here a little, just a little bit more movement in there. And come up, and we'll go into the other side. Exhale, so it's really getting a lot of movement there in the joint. Two more. Move with your own breath. And one more. Take a breath. Gaze over to your left, just about where your pocket would be. Take your two hands, bring them up to your chest, and you're going to reach the chin up towards the ceiling and jut the jaw out. And with your hands, you're just gonna like pull the skin away. And come down. So turning your head again, not all the way around, just about halfway. You're going to bring your head up, jut the chin. And you're gonna get this nice stretch down the side of the neck, and you're just kind of pulling the skin gently in the opposite direction. And release. Another little side stretch. So taking the left hand down for support, right arm up, reach. And now a little tiny twist. So I'm just twisting towards the floor, thoracic spine. And come up. Inhale. And really letting all of your abdomen doing the work. So you're really using your ribs to do the twist. And release. Another one. Inhale and exhale. And come back up. Other side. Inhale. Reach. Now inhale, twist. Now your arm don't necessarily have to be up towards the sky. You can bring it down if that feels better, but it's just a little twist. And release. We'll do two more. Inhale, exhale, twist. And come up. Exhale, twist. And come up. Let's bring the arms nice and wide and give ourselves a hug. A little twist from side to side. Big breath. Bring the arms behind, clasp the fingers, and then bring the elbows in. They may not come all the way in. No biggie. I'm reaching the hands towards the floor and bringing the arms up away from my bum now. And releasing. Wide again, another hug with the opposite arm on the bottom. A little side to side. Release. Bring the arms behind, other pinky on the bottom. And bringing the elbows in. And perhaps moving the arms away from your bottom. Take a breath. And exhale. Release. Open the legs nice and wide. Again, sitting on the sits bones here. And I don't know, I'm on a bolster. I find I kind of tip a little bit forward, and you can really feel that I'm even sitting on the sits bones even more. There, we're going to go right into an internal and external rotation with the legs. Start wide, and then just gradually move a little closer together. Make sure that the feet are lined up with the ankles, so they're just not flopping over to the sides. Toes up towards the ceiling. And then closer. Staying with the breath. Notice when you're doing this, if there's any place that you're starting to clench, like jaw or the belly, try to let that go. Nice big breaths. Now I'm going to remain sitting on this, but you don't have to. You can come off if you want and just lean back. But we're going to come into some windshield wiper legs. So I'm going to open my legs a little wide, not as wide as they can go. I'm just using my blocks behind me for now, just for a little support, see how it feels. And I'm going to bring the knees in. So we're going into almost like a 90-90 legs. Actually, let's not. Better way to do it is just open the legs wide. Sorry, bring the knees in, because this is a little bit different than 1990. We're just going to windshield wiper the legs. So we're just going to go from side to side. And I'm going to start, when you're on one side, start with the back leg, I'd call it. So for me, the left leg, I'm going to open it up and then as that one opens, bring the other. So it's more intentional movement in the hip here, okay? So you don't necessarily need to be on your blocks, but if you do feel a little better leaning back, it's nice to have the blocks behind so you're not on the floor and arching your lower back. So just keep that movement going. I've got my blocks positioned behind me now, so I'm just moving one leg and bring the other. And while you're doing this, really think about, so your hip flexors, if you put your hand right here in front of your hip here, try to relax them as we're doing this, okay? Just try to relax that area a little bit. So now that we are on to one side, we're going to actually probably get off the bolster for this part and just come onto your bottom, but lean back, okay? So you can lean back, support your weight, just do not collapse in the shoulders. And we're going to bring our legs into this, just a 90-90 position. So you're kind of more on your side. And what we're gonna do, and you may need a block for this. So I have my legs pointing to the left. You just don't want them too close to the body if you can help it, but just bring them to somewhere that's comfortable always. And I'm gonna come down onto my forearm here, or you can come down all the way to the floor, okay? So we're just going to extend the right arm up. Do not collapse in that shoulder, so you're pushing out of that shoulder. And we're going to go into that little twist. So we're going to twist under the arm. So we're going to bring a right arm underneath the left. And again, you're really thinking about the ribs doing this twist. So twist. Inhale, reach up to the sky, and then exhale, twist. Do that a few times, your own breath. Ribs doing all that movement, twisting. Do not collapse in that shoulder. And one more. And reach and come up. We'll come on the heels of your feet again, just windshield wiper the legs back and forth, and then let them relax down to the right. So get yourself situated. You're going to bring yourself down onto your forearm or your forearm onto a block, and just make sure you're really pressing out of the floor or the block, okay? So your shoulder does not collapse. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, twist just the ribs, bringing the arm, the left arm under the right block. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Do a couple more, ladies, 2 or 3 more. Nice and slow now. Slow it right down. 2 more, slow. Last reach. And come all the way up. We're going to come on to all fours. Another time when you must make sure that you're nice and comfortable on your hands and knees and use any modifications that you need to. So have something underneath your knees. Hands underneath the shoulders. And I like to do that wrapping. So that nice wrap where you almost feel like your elbows are coming forward, but really feeling that stability in the shoulders. Do not collapse so your belly don't come to the floor. Think about the ribs in a nice flat, straight back and belly. And we're just going to move. So move side to side, around in circles, whatever feels good for you. There's no wrong way to do this. You can go from side to side. And just come back to the breath and really release the belly too. So just check in, make sure that you're not clenching around the belly or the face. And now we'll just come into stillness with hips underneath the pelvis. Now I say hands underneath the shoulders, but if you find that find it a bit more comfortable to have them a little wider, go ahead. And all we're going to do right now, you can either relax the head completely, or you can just keep the chin tucked, try to have a nice long neck. And we're just going to stay here, arms, shoulders wrapped, and pressing down in all areas of your hand, okay? So equally pressing all the fingers into the mat. And we're just going to check in with our belly here and see if we can just be here, and that's it, just be here. Come to your breath and see what it means, or see what happens for you when you release all of the tension around your belly and your lower back. So you're really just trying to soften those areas as much as you can while you take nice, easy, gentle breaths. And really you're just holding yourself, not much more to do than that. How does it feel to release some of those muscles around the belly and the back? How does that feel for you? Does it feel uncomfortable, that you feel like you need some support there? You must, clench in. If you feel like you need some support, change that feeling of sucking in to more of a pushing out around the abs, underneath the ribs, say. Just coming to the breath and just noticing. Sometimes it's nice relief and release. Bring the knees together, bring the feet together, toes together, heels together, tuck the toes, walk your hands back, sit on your toes, you can spread the toes. Bring the arms out to the side and up, inhale. Exhale, come down in prayer. And now switch the hands so the backs of the hands are together in prayer. And reach all the fingertips together and spread the thumbs and have them touch as well. And you're trying to touch the full hand right down to the top of the wrist. And now just move the hands, if it's available to you, down the body until the hands start to come apart. And when that happens, or just before that happens, just stay right there and take a couple breaths. No forcing. Give them a few circles, a little bit of movement, shake it out, and come back down to hands and knees. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite hand, opposite knee. So some core work now. So I'm just going to lift the opposite knee and the opposite hand off the floor just an inch, just enough so that's off the floor. And while we're doing that, check in with the belly and just see if you need to be clenching as hard as what you are. And remember, if you do feel like you need some support, that pushing out feeling rather than sucking the abdomen in, and just notice how that feels for you. So we're going to move now to the other side, and we're going to move back and forth like that, but we're doing some holds. Hold. Check in with the jaw. Make sure you're not clenching the jaw. Release the face. Move over to the other side, and we're going to go back and forth. You can go in your own time, okay? And take breaks when you need it. Now the shoulder that's holding all of our weight, make sure that we have that kind of wrapping going around when you're pushing out of the hand. Switch. Pushing out of that shoulder, and we have an external rotation going on. See if we can have an easy breath. And we're trying to be nice and steady, less wobbling around. So move to the other side. And see if you can breathe. Nice, easy breaths. And when you're moving, you're trying to do it in stillness. So before you distribute your weight to the other side, get the shoulder, make sure it's nice and supported. And you're not hiking up so that you want your pelvis to remain level. So you're just really lifting the hand switch. Take some rest if this is hard on the wrists for you.
It's a long time.
And move to the other side. Just 1 second, I think I may have. Somebody is not muted, so I'm just going to mute Barbara there. There we go. Okay, move to the other side or take a rest. It may be enough for you. We'll just do one more on each side. Release. Shoulder ready, pushing out. Easy breath. Relax the muscles of the belly because we don't want to be clenching before we move into this. We want the proper muscles to engage for the movement rather than clench and then move. Okay, so let's take a little break again. So you have options. You can come and sit on your toes. You can come into a child's pose. I think I'm going to reach my hands out in front of me this time, tuck my toes, and just reach this way. So I'm not trying to get my head to the floor. Back is nice and straight. I'm just really pulling away from my hands that are on the floor. So pulling the bum away from the hands. And really relax so in it. Big breaths, let the belly expand on your inhale. And just let the body move on its own. And exhale and come back up. Okay, we're going to go back into that, but this time you have an option. You can go back to that, or we can go now into a bird dog. So there's going to be options there as well. So first we'll start with extending the right leg back and then lifting the leg up without the pelvis. So my pelvis is not moving. I'm just trying to keep the pelvis level, slide the foot back, lift the foot to pelvis height. Now, this might be a place for you to begin, is going one leg. Well, let's just do it a couple times and then extend the other leg and lift. Take an inhale, exhale down. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale and down. So you can do this. We'll do this. All of us will do this a few times. And slow is better. Nice, stable shoulders, remember. And down, and one more on the other side. Slide the leg, lift the leg. Whew. So you should be feeling this in your abs. And down. Take another little rest. This time I'm going to come back, bring my knees together, heels, toes together. I'm going to sit down on my heels and give the wrists a little rest. And come back to your breath. Check in with your core. Release any tension. You're just resting now. Very important to begin at this place of rest, because if we're just going into it repetition after repetition without resting and coming back to that place of ease, it's almost like trying to strengthen your bicep by only doing this much rather than bringing it all the way out and bringing it all the way in. That's what you're doing when you're clenching before you start the movement. So come back. That's why I always bring you back to this place of ease. Come down. You have those options. You can go right back into that, or else we can go foot out, lift up, extend the arm. We can bring the knee in towards the arm, but you do not have to do that. You can just extend and then go to the other side. I'm just going to stay on this side and do a couple of ins. Exhale, bring the knee and the elbow together. Now, when you're doing this, and you can continue as I talk, keep with that movement, but make sure it's a different movement than arching your back to touch the heel or the elbow to the knee, okay? It's not arching. I feel like you can take a break now. We're gonna move to the other side. The reason why I don't do that is because a lot of us spend too much time like this anyway. So we don't really, I like for us to just practice not doing anything really in that rolled hunchback. So that's why I do it. Come down, go to the other side. Let's extend the left leg, lift the leg up, extend the arm like you're reaching with the arm and reaching with the heel. Inhale, exhale. Oh, I just arched the back of it. Inhale, exhale. Knee to elbow. Inhale, exhale. Knee to elbow. Move nice and slow. Watch that your hip is not coming up. Inhale, reach. Now you could be just doing the toe. Exhale, bringing the toe or the toe off the mat, like the first version. You don't all have to be doing this one. Inhale, release the belly. Exhale, bring it in together. Inhale, release the belly. Exhale. One more if you got it in you. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring together. And then find that place of rest for you. It could be just sitting up. You could sit cross-legged, you can sit in a chair. Most important, I'll say it again, is that when you are coming to this place of rest, is that you're comfortable. So coming into that nice, easy breath. Now get your blocks ready. And we're just going to come up onto our knees and we're going to come into a low lunge. So come up onto your knees. I'm going to step my right foot forward. And now this kind of lunge, we want to be up straight. We're not coming down like this. We'll get there in a moment. But first, we're just going to come so that the knee is over the ankle. And in the back, kind of the same thing. So you can see a 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle. Body is nice and straight. And all we're going to do, I have my, keep your blocks here, even though you're not using them at this moment. Have something under your knee if that's bothering you on the mat. And we're just going to slowly move our pelvis forward. So it's not that we're dropping down. It's a very small movement where I'm bringing the pelvis forward. So I just did it. I hardly move very much. I'll show you again. I'm back. Take a breath. Exhale, move forward. So I'm just as though my hips are just coming straight forward, not pointing down. So I'm getting movement in this back hip. And stay there and breathe. I'm using the block to catch me if I'm getting off balance. And come back. Take a breath. Exhale again, move forward. Breath. Exhale, move back. Now this time we are going to we're going to move further. So get your blocks. And now this time we are coming into this lower lunge where I'm reaching that foot back. Now this is going to be different for everybody. You don't have to try to reach your leg back as far as you can, especially if you feel like your pelvis is going in opposite directions. Like I don't want it to come, so I'm just dropping all the way down, okay? There's no dropping feeling at all, actually. You do have a bit of resistance, okay? So I can drop like this. I don't want to do that. I'm just coming forward a little bit. Now tuck that back toe. I'm relaxing or resting or using my blocks as support, I should say, because I'm really pushing still out of them. Got my toe tucked, and now you're going to just hold the knee up a little bit. So your knee is just coming off the mat, maybe not even an inch. And you're just holding that and down. Come up a little bit too for a minute. Make sure that we're not slanted on the side. Always plug in so your hip bones are pointing forward, okay? So again, I'm in that lowish lunge. I'm lifting the knee. Take a breath. Release the belly. And down. Okay, walk your blocks back. And we're going to move to the other side. So I'm bringing my left foot up. Again, the knee over ankle, back leg, knee under hip. And again, we're just moving the hips forward. Very small movement. So I'm moving forward, I'm taking a breath and kind of moving back. So make sure your knee is supported. We don't want you to have any tension here. We'll make you clench. Just moving forward a couple times. Really getting mobility in this standing leg, or the one that's on the ground. And come back. And this time coming into that more of a lower lunge here without dropping too much. I got my back toe tucked, and then I'm just going to lift the knee just a little tiny bit. I'm trying to lift the knee without the pelvis moving. So just lift the knee, take a breath. Exhale down. Again. And down. 2 more times. Take a breath. Relax the belly, check into all those places, and exhale, lift. Inhale, drop. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Last one. Hold. And release. And we will come out of that. I'm going to stand on my knees. I'm going to come up. We're going to come up to standing. So I'm going to tuck my toes, use my blocks for support. I'm on my tippy toes now. You can do a little moving around here if you want, coming further up in your toes and back. And whenever you're ready, you can come all the way up into standing. I'm going to reach my arms above my head. And exhale, come down, put the blocks to the side. So we're just going to come into a standing here now with the feet pointing forward and a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. If your feet are uncomfortable like that and they need to turn out a little tiny bit, that's fine. But really you're trying to have the feet pointed forward here. So just grounding down, rooting down through your feet. Chin possibly tucked, thinking about the spine, nice and long, neutral pelvis. We're going to come into a very gentle forward fold. So when we come into a forward fold again, don't want to be arching the back. You could if that feels great for you, but like I said earlier, I'd rather just keep the back nice and straight, and the reason for the forward fold is getting some movement in the hips. So taking my hands to my hips, take a breath in, exhale, and we're just hinging, and the bum is going back. So hinging, and keeping the back nice and straight. I like to even bring my kind of elbows behind me, but not to arch in the lower back. Okay, so just keeping and folding. And now we're getting that nice stretch in the hamstrings. So if you want to play around a little bit, you can, once you're in this forward fold, you can unbend and bend the knees a little tiny bit, and you'll really feel that nice stretch. Do not overstretch the hamstrings. If you're also feeling a really tight stretch just at the bottom of the buttocks here, you've gone way too far, and be very, very careful with that sensation. So again, inhale. So I came up, and you can come up as well, and we'll do another one. So just hinging. So I'm trying to keep everything straight, and the only thing that's moving is hinging at the hips. So the bum is going back, and I'm hinging. Now, if I start to go anymore, I'll start to bring the back seat with me. So I don't want that. I just want the back straight and just hinge at the hips. And that's my comfort zone. And now I'm going to bend the knees a little bit, put my hands on and bend them and then unbend them. So I'm almost pushing the back of my legs back and getting this nice active stretch now in the hamstrings. Inhale, exhale, and continue with that movement. You could also put your feet closer together, and you may want to try that. You may want to try forward fold and bring the feet more like hip width distance apart. Try that. And then inhale, exhale. Folding, the bum is going pushed back, and you're just hinging back straight. Again, you can look down now at your toes, and I'm gonna unbend the knees, or bend the knees, sorry, and then push them back a little. Nice hamstring stretch. I'm gonna do that a couple times. I'm always surprised at how fast these classes go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down, and let's just give a little shake everywhere. A little wiggle, a little shake. We're just going to move into a couple squats before we come down into our backs. So whatever kind of squat you want. You can have the legs closer, wider apart, whatever is good. We're just going to do a few. So again, we're pushing the bum back as we come down, and the back stays straight. And then as we're down, we're push out of the heels. And when you push out of the heels, you should feel your back, your bum, the back part of your body engage. Okay, so inhale. Exhale, push, come up. And go at your own speed, but not too fast. We want to keep it in that kind of slower range. So inhale up. Push, exhale. Inhale, you bring the arms in like I'm doing. Exhale, do not have to be coming down as low. You know what, better yet, try all different heights. So little one, bigger one, biggest one. Watch it when you're coming up. Your knees may have a tendency to come together. So when you're coming down, really think about pushing the legs out. So if you had your hands here, you're pushing out. When you come up, push out, like you're pushing into your hands. Also, you can just change your stance a little bit. One more hold. Exhale, come up. Give it a little shake it all out again. And come down into your backs and have your block. Get something for underneath your head as well. Okay. If you want, we can come down into our little boat pose. So we can have the feet planted to the floor, about hip width distance apart. We're going to curl down. Use your hands if you need to for support, okay? So we're tucking the pelvis under, and I'm going to just try to go slow, 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 and I'm curling down. And as I'm curling down, I'm just keeping my chin tucked to not strain the neck. And I'm trying to go really slow. You can stop and have a little pause. And seriously, use support as soon as you need it. And now lay on our backs. Do whatever it is that your body is calling for you to do, any movement, or perhaps you just want to lay out and just connect to the breath. You may feel like moving. And do whatever it is. And just try to connect to the breath and just bring awareness into how everything is feeling. And don't push away anything that's feeling not comfortable, or if something didn't agree with your body. And just take a mental note of it so that for next time, you'll probably recognize those yellow lights in your body when your body is telling you, oh, that's a bit too much, or that's a bit too far, or that was just uncomfortable or not, and not for me. So we're going to bring the the legs up now. So making sure that your ribs and back of your ribs are touching. Natural arch in your lower back, so neutralish pelvis. I say neutralish because it's different for everybody. I'm putting the block on the top. You can have your arms out to the sides, palms down on the floor if you want, or palms up. And we're just doing a little bit more core where we're just moving from side to side. So we don't want the block to fall off our knees. I'm trying to keep the block on an even plane. So when you come over a little bit onto one side, so if I come over to the right, I may need to reach my left leg up a little bit to keep the block level. So again, we can come back, start at that place of ease in the belly, and move with the breath. Inhale, exhale, move to the side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, move to the other side. Now, if you'd rather have the block in between your legs, you can do that as well. And if you're coming up a little bit higher now, remember that when you come up into your side, so I'm rolling over to my right, I really want to be coming up and like I'm bringing the left side of my pelvis up. And you'll notice I'm coming over to the right, so coming over towards the left, my right leg is on top. And as I come over to the side, I almost want to like bring my pelvis, so I'm like lifting my pelvis off the floor. To see that the knees will become more in line, and you'll notice that it really works the abs. So instead of just like push, pick up the pelvis and then come down. So I'm coming over, pick up the pelvis, and you'll notice the engagement as soon as you do that. So you don't have to engage the abs, you're engaging the pelvis, you're bringing the pelvis up, and the abs just respond to that movement, okay? And do a couple more of those, and then release your block. Now one last movement before we go right into Shavasana. So we're going to do the lift the foot 3 inches off the floor and then lift the other one. There's a couple of options here. So if you will just try it together, lift one or right foot, and it's only coming 3 inches off the floor. When you got the right foot, lift the left. Now, when you did that, if you felt really unstable or you just felt, okay, there's just too much movement, or I don't know, or just do one and then try the other and see and listen to your body and decide which one is best for you. So you can do one and then lift the other and hold, or you can just lift one and you'll feel the engagement, okay? So what you'll hopefully feel is that when you put your hands, and you guys can go ahead, lift one and then bring the other to meet and hold. Now, also another indication that that's not for you is if you lift one foot and you lift the other and everything happens in the back, like you start to lift up or arch the back, you need to be able to do that without any other movement happening, okay? If not, just do one at a time. There's no right or wrong. And even if lifting the full foot off the floor is like making your belly pop right up here, you know it's not feeling right, your back is arching, then maybe just lift so that your toe is on the floor. So you're just taking some of that load off, because if it's not feeling right, you're not really helping yourself in any way by doing that. So listen to your body, accept where you are. I mean, this is not about, oh, well, one day you're going to be able to do it. Who cares if no day you'll ever be able to do it? This is, all bodies are different and they respond differently to different movements. So, and it's not about one person being better than the other or somebody's body working better. It's just more about, oh, these are the options, all of these options that we have. So I've been just coming up on my toe, and I'm really liking that, especially while I'm talking. and we can release. Do any kind of last movement that you want before we move right into Shavasana. So give you a couple of options, but really listen to your body and do what feels good. Because part of it is, right, like this class or any other class is like, sometimes you have to decide like, that's not for me, or right now my body is asking me to do something entirely different than what the teacher is saying. And that's important too. That's the main thing. It's your class, it's your body, it's your yoga practice. So just explore what your body is asking for. I always like to do a little figure four. Feels really good for me. I think I have some tight hamstrings. And we will now just get cozy and start to relax and wind down. Making sure you're comfortable here, just as you were when you were seated, just as important here. And choose where your hands want to go, if you want them on the belly to connect to your breath, one on your heart, palms open to the sky. You choose. And let the head feel heavy into your pillow or cushion. So that it almost feels as though all the skin on your face is kind of peeling back or relaxing back. Feeling this around the scalp and the temples between the eyes. Nice relaxed jaw, like the part of the lips and the teeth. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Head is heavy, and then bring some awareness into the neck, back the neck, and the front of the throat. See if you can soften all those places a little more. And just envision this light of relaxed energy. It's almost like a white light that just makes every muscle relax as it moves down from the top of your head, through your body, down your arm, down your legs, down to the toes. And every inhale, the light gets a little brighter. And every exhale, the light dims a little. And as the light dims, your whole body softens a little more. You're aware of your breath and yourself in your own body. If your mind is wandering, it's okay. Just be the observer of your thoughts. And be gentle with yourself. And just guide yourself into softness, relaxation. Every exhale, softening around the jaw, the eyes. Moving down the neck, the shoulders. Soften around the pelvis. And from the center of our bodies, and moving out towards the extremities, our arms and our legs, our feet and hands. Stillness. Letting go. Just taking the time. I'm going to end the class now, but please stay as long as you wish.